I've worked with every type of agency under the sun, working with hundreds of different agencies. So I'm going to show you everything I've learned from working with all these different agencies and what agency you should start. So let's get right into it. I created a detailed list of every agency that I've worked with, or kind of give a brief overall summary of all of them. So I'm going to go through all of them. Ads agency, basically SMMA, AI agency, SaaS agency, short form content, B2B, web design, VA placement, PR firm agency, partnership agency, and then staffing agency. So I'm going to show you how all these works, which ones you should do. I'll also put a link to this entire sheet. You can have access to the whole thing in the link in the description below. So yeah, all right, we'll get right into it. So ads agency, difficulty, medium, average. After 12 months, you can make about 10 to 20K a month. You can make obviously more or less than this, obviously over the course of 12 months, but I'm just giving you an average. And some of these numbers, like I can't, it's hard to like give you an actual average, but just I'd say after a year doing this, you can make anywhere between 10 and 20K. You can make, again, more or less, whatever. Pretty saturated, but it is a big industry and it is high ticket. All right, so overview, if you don't know what SMA is, you're living under a rock. It's basically just helping businesses get more clients or leads through paid ads. So what I have learned, this is the classic SMMA. Since this got so big, a lot of people do it. So a lot of industries already know about it, that they heard about it before. They've been pitched before, right? So it's getting harder and harder to close clients, saying that, because everyone's saying, we've already worked with an agency before. But you can still get clients. I have this guy that's 16 years old. I have plenty of 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds that are going to school full-time and still able to close $20,000 in 1 month doing SMMA, like this guy right here. And some of the most saturated niches too. So they're in like roofing and the solar niche, like things like those. You can still get a lot of clients in those industries. But if you're just getting started, you don't know anything about ads, and you don't want to learn them, then I would just probably skip this type of agency. There's some other agencies that might work better for you, because the only way to really have success is if you get your clients a good ROI, or a good return on investments with the ads. So, when I was starting, I wasted a lot of clients' money by just running ads. And so I had a high churn rate. So a client would come to me, I would say, hey, I'll help you get clients, with ads. I'll help you get more solar jobs with ads, right? Then I would run them ads, and I would not get them any solar jobs, right? They would get like leads coming in, but no one would actually convert into real sales. And so there was no real ROI, or return on investment. And so then they would leave the next month. So the best way to get clients right now is to have a unique offer, or change the model to something that other agencies aren't doing right now. So business owners are constantly looking for the new thing that will help them get to the next level. And rarely will they ever do something that's like the same thing over again. So they're not going to do Facebook ads if they tried it like 4 times already. And so if you give them a new thing and we position it in a different way, then you can get a ton of clients that way. Now, rarely is there ever a new thing, right? It's all, marketing is kind of all the same. But if we position it as if it's new, it can sound a lot different to them. So for an example, we might sell a $1,500 retainer, or try to sell a $1,500 retainer. It's pretty hard to sell $1,500, even for me. If I make a ton of money every month, I'm still really hesitant to pay a $1,500 retainer. I'm hesitant to pay $15 per month, for a software. And so because of that, every business owner is hesitant to pay something that big. But if you sold something to me where you say, hey, it's $100 per lead that we bring you, and you have to buy a minimum of 15 leads per month, it sounds a lot simpler, a lot easier to say yes to, but it's the same price, right? It's still $1,500 a month. But now we're positioning it as pay per qualified lead, so it sounds different in the prospect's eyes. So if it were me, I loved doing ads in the beginning, but it got harder and harder to run ads on Facebook. That's another thing you don't really think about, is that Facebook has all these regulations, and it's like getting clients is hard, but also helping the clients is hard because of tools like Facebook or YouTube or Google that are constantly updating and changing the rules. And so you have ad accounts getting banned all the time, and you don't even realize that, these ad accounts just like suddenly get banned, and you can't do anything about it because Facebook changed the rules, so it kind of sucks. So I personally wouldn't go back into starting an ad agency, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't. If I were you, if you already know about ads, or you want to really learn about ads, then I guess it can be worth it for you. But if you don't really know anything about it, then there's some other better alternatives. AI agency, difficulty hard, 0 to 40K a month, 12-month average, unsaturated, pretty saturated. It's a big industry. It can be high ticket. The overview is helping businesses set up automations in their business to make everything more efficient. So basically, we'll help you set up automations to automatically text people as they come in, or automatically email people, or we can automate this system or a chatbot, just like stuff. There's plenty of different things you can do with AI automations. So many different strategies. So I see a lot of people trying to get into this, and there is so much you can do with it, and it works for almost any business. The hard part is portraying the value of the offer to the business owner. The only thing is like trying to find one solid end result that you're providing for them. And so a lot of people are like trying to go out and saying, hey, we'll help you save time. We'll help you save money with this AI automation stuff. But it doesn't really sound very intriguing in a cold email if I say, hey, I'll help you save time with your business. You're like, okay, I guess, whatever. I'll help you save money. People really want to make money, so it's like helping you save money doesn't sound as compelling. And so I find it pretty hard to find clients with this type of agency, like hard to find people that are like actively looking to automate things within their business. It's pretty hard to find those people. Now you can do it if you just do pure volume by reaching out to a ton of people, but you can also do it by helping finding people that are already raising their hand. So if you try to find people that are already raising their hand saying that they're interested within this specific offer, then it can be pretty easy to get clients, but still a little tough. For example, you can go into like a Facebook group, you can go into Upwork, or there's other people that just make YouTube videos. And I'm not going to get too deep into like how to actually book the appointments for this type of agency. But you can, let's just say for Upwork, you can see people that are posting jobs that are similar to your service. So let's just say automations, or like I need help automations, right? You can create a Upwork account, go and apply for those jobs using the strategy I use in this AI or this Upwork video that I made. So I'd watch that video. Basically, I reach out to people and I have a really unique offer the way I'm reaching out to them on Upwork, and I was able to get a lot of book sales calls from that. So you can use that strategy, but the only thing is now you're competing with everybody else that's on Upwork. But the way I kind of position it makes it pretty easy to compete with all those people. It makes you kind of stand out from the crowd. But other than that, or you can go to Facebook groups, find someone that's already looking for AI stuff, or you can post in the group saying, hey, does anyone need help automating stuff in their business? But, not a lot of people probably would respond to that. It doesn't sound that compelling, One guy in my group, his name is Matt. He's using this my YouTube system. He's also, was doing YouTube videos for a little while for the past, and this message was in, 6/21. So past 6 months, been able to do YouTube and get a lot of clients from YouTube. Basically just making YouTube videos about how to run AI, certain like AI systems. Like, hey, if you're trying to do this thing, here's how to set up this automation, whatever. And so then he pitches his offer, right? And so people come through his offer where he'll help you set up AI and automations within your agency or within your business, And so that's one way that he's doing it. He's able to get pretty consistent results. I'll get a lot of leads from the views that he's getting from YouTube. And so if it were me, I probably wouldn't do an AI agency. If you're already in it, then it can be pretty good. And you can kind of like try to ramp it up by trying to get people to come inbound to you. It'll be a lot easier if people are coming to you, like something like through YouTube, rather than you having to try to go out to people and try to portray the value. Because, Mr. Beast says this all the time, is if he has a good idea, but he can't think of a simple title and thumbnail for the video that he think will crush, then he'll just kill the idea. And so if you think about the best marketing messages of our time, which is like 2-day free shipping, 1-click purchasing, I can understand what those are within less than 5 words. If you can make it sound like that and point towards an end result that's really compelling, then it would be worth pursuing. But other than that, it's pretty tough to sell the AI stuff, right? Because it's like, oh, what does it do? It helps you. It's faster. It's better. It's like it can help you replace some of your employees. And it's like well, what employees? You're like, I think salespeople or receptionists, right? So it can be a little difficult. Not saying that it's not impossible, but a little difficult. Cool. SaaS. This one's hard, and it's also usually a lower monthly income, so 0 to 15K a month after 12 months. Pretty saturated. It's a big industry, but it's also not very high ticket. So what this is, basically, if you ever heard of like trying to sell go high level SaaS, now everyone has different opinion on this, whatever, but I'm just going to give you my opinion. I don't like leaning on one software, right? Just being tied down to one software and being your entire business around the one software and being a commodity where everybody else can do the same thing that you're doing and pitch the same thing. So there's a lot of people trying to sell go high level SaaS right now. It's a great product. I use go high level all the time. The problem is that everyone's doing it, like I said, and it's become a gold rush where everyone's just trying to sell SaaS. And the market is shifting. A lot of people know what go high level is now. Even when I was getting started in early 2021, and I had just found out what go high level was, and the prospects I was getting on calls with which was like roofing and solar companies, they already knew what Go High Level was, even before I knew what Go High Level was. That was 3 years ago. It's become way, way, way more popular now, way bigger than it was. And so you can think about it right now, the market's pretty saturated, The only people I see really succeeding with Go High Level SaaS are people who aren't trying to sell just the basic software to some random industry, but there are people that are creating these extensive build outs within a specific industry. So one client I have in my program who's doing well with Go High Level SaaS, he has a custom automation for Go High Level with websites. He's also running ads for the client. And when they come on board, he has weekly coaching calls for them to make sure that they understand how to use the software and a lot more on top of that, right? And he does a lot of outreach and he runs paid ads. He's also targeting a really unique niche that I've never heard anyone else target before. And so that's what it takes to become successful. That's how he was able to have some success with it. But it's a lot more work than just, everyone thinks that they're just going to start a SaaS, right? Like, I'm going to start a software. We have so many people, dude. So many people come to me, they're like, we have a software company. I'm like, all right, you're reselling Go High Level. They're like, yeah, but we have all these other features, And so it's funny, but it's basically a commodity at this point. If you're already in it, I think it can work, right? I think it can work. The only thing is we have to really try to leverage, we have to do a few things, right? A lot of times with this, you're not really selling high ticket, so it's usually $300 to $500 per month max, so it's really low ticket. And so if it were me, what I would do is I wouldn't let the entire business revolve around that one software. So my entire business right now revolves around SaaS, but I'm not just selling Go High Level. It's a part of the problem or it's a part of the solution, but it's one piece to the overall puzzle. So I have several softwares that I implement, and it's not even about the softwares. I rarely even mention the softwares as a whole. It's about the end result that they want. And so what my clients want is consistent leads, sales calls, and clients, right? And so these softwares are tools to help me get the end result, achieve the end result of getting more leads, sales, and clients, but they aren't the full product. It's like selling a home to someone and then giving them a bunch of wood and a hammer. Those are the tools, but they wanted the end result, which was the house, right? And so I would try to pitch the end result to people rather than just pitching them high level. And like an example of doing that is something as simple as the database reactivation thing. A lot of people are doing that, where we say, hey, we'll help you get more leads and sales without having to do any paid ads. How does that work, right? Then they do a short campaign. We'll take your email list, your texting list. We'll send them texts. We'll send them emails, pitching your offer on that email list. And then you're going to get a whole bunch of leads from that, right? So you're just taking your existing database and reactivating it. That's why it's called database reactivation. And a lot of people get leads really quickly with that. And so it kind of gets them hooked on the software and they continue to use it long term. And so that's the end result of getting more leads and sales. But if you're just, here's a software and it can do all this stuff for you, they're not going to want to learn how to use it. It's, for me, like I said, it's one piece to an overall puzzle. Anyways, short form content agency, medium difficulty, say 5 to 30K average after 12 months. It is saturated. It is a big industry though. It can be high ticket. So this is just selling short form videos to businesses that they can add to all their social media platforms. Short form blew up with the dawn of Alex Hormozi style shorts. Everyone wanted it and everyone was selling it. That was early 2023. It's gotten really saturated since then. And it's basically become a commodity. People are still buying short form content, but the churn rate can be pretty high for clients. It's not as saturated as it once was. It wasn't as saturated as like mid 2023. But there's still a lot of people doing it and it's still pretty hard. I get people reaching out to me all the time about short form, right? So I have several people in my program that are pitching short form, and it's not easy to sell, but it's also not too difficult to sell either. It's not that hard to sell, but they do have some people have a high churn rate. A lot of the people don't get a ton of new followers from 1 month of short form content. So they don't really see a real tangible result other than the fact that they have new videos on their feed. All right. The people who are buying short form content are only buying in hopes of becoming either TikTok famous or using it as an extra revenue stream for their business. But short form content rarely brings in new clients, even if it brings a lot of views. So that's because they're not choosing to watch your video. The algorithm is choosing to watch for them, right? So if you get 10,000 views, that's 10,000 people that didn't really choose to click on your video, but the algorithm, it just kind of showed up in their feed. Now, long form videos like on YouTube, if you get 10,000 views, that's 10,000 people who actively clicked on your video because they wanted to watch that video. And so you'll get a lot more engagement, booked calls, and sales from the long form content. So the people that do short form content, I tell them that they should try to do also long form content or manage the client's full inbound system. That means doing long form content, email campaigns, social media posts, Facebook groups, all that stuff. Just whatever you can that can actually help them get more sales. Because that's what they want. They don't want short form content, they want more sales. And the short form content can be a mechanism to get them more sales, but it doesn't work too well, right? So and instead of pitching, I can help you make short form content, you can say something like, I can bring you 50 new sales calls this month without doing any cold outreach or without any paid ads. And that leans more towards the end result that they want, which is more clients. If it were me, I wouldn't start a short form content agency, but I would try to get business influencers or coaches and consultants and try to manage their social platforms and their email campaigns for them, and I would get a percentage of per closed deal. So I currently have a team member who's on my team who does my email campaigns and does my Twitter, everything on Twitter, and he makes about $3,000 to $5,000 a month just from managing those things, right? Because he gets a percentage of those. And if he stopped doing that, then I lose a lot of money. So I want him to keep doing it because I make a lot of money from those channels. And so what produces a lot of money for me is YouTube, is email campaigns, and some like Facebook and LinkedIn. And we do some outbound, right? We don't do a ton of outbound anymore. We get a lot more money coming from inbound, so people coming to us from the content that we're posting. And so if you can help manage somebody's content, not just their short form content, because again, like I said, that doesn't bring a ton of clients. Long form content, long form posts on Facebook, a Facebook group. If you can help manage a Facebook group, you can make a ton of money from a Facebook group. And if you're in full control for that client, then they're going to make a ton of money from that, and you're going to make a ton of money as a commission or on a monthly basis, right? And if you say, hey, we're going to stop working with you, it's going to be pretty hard to replace you, because if you created that Facebook group for them, you help them set up everything, or you help them create that YouTube channel, get them to where they are today, help them create that audience, and you have access to the email list. Like if you control the entire process, and then you say, hey, let's just say the client says, I don't want to work with you anymore. You're like, well, we're going to take everything that we produce for you, and we're going to take it and we're going to use it as our own, right? Then that cuts out a huge revenue stream for that business or for that individual. So that's who I would be targeting, and I think it could work. I probably want to do short form content, but I would do content overall, Cool. B2B agency. All right, these ticks, these little check marks are things that I would do. So easy, difficulty, 10 to 40K a month after 12 months. Unsaturated. I mean, it's getting a little saturated, but still very unsaturated. It is a big industry and it's high ticket. The basic overview is helping B2B businesses get more clients. A lot of people don't know what this is. Basically, you help business-to-business companies get more clients, and you're going to do that through direct outreach. A B2B company is just a company that targets other companies as clients. For example, a marketing agency targets other businesses. A staffing agency targets other businesses. Business insurance agents target other businesses. Business loans, mergers and acquisitions, etc. When you're reaching out to them, you're going to ask them if they need more clients. And then you're going to help them get more clients by doing LinkedIn outreach for them, email outreach, cold calling, etc. I think it's one of the easiest agencies to start and learn because it's pretty straightforward. Like, you get a client by reaching out to them, and then you help the client get more clients by reaching out to their prospects, right? From what I've seen, you can get about to 20 to 30K per month within a year pretty easily. One of my clients, Matt, who has been in the game for a little over a year now, I think a year and 2 months now, just hit over 30K. He started with a regular marketing agency targeting IT companies. Didn't really work for him. He was having some struggle. I told him, hey, you should try to get into the B2B agency thing. He got into the B2B agency about maybe October of last year, 2022. It's now December of 2023. He's hitting 30 to 40K a month right now, 30 to 40. Another client was able to hit like 30K in 3 months pretty easily. So, and it's also really high ticket, right? This guy, $12,000 all-in-one, 3 months of 3K, 1K separate, whatever, right? Anyways, I have plenty of testimonials of people starting a B2B agency, getting a client, a couple $1,000s per month per client pretty easily. So unsaturated, easy to help the clients. Unlike ads, it's pretty predictable. You don't have to worry about your ad account getting shut down, stuff like that. Now, with all marketing, there's unpredictability, but it's a lot more predictable than ads, I think, are. If it were me, I literally did this, and I made $10,000 in 3 weeks when I started. And so that's if it were me, I would do that, right? All right, B2B agency, web design agency. Difficulty is pretty hard. I'd say 0 to 20K after 12 months. Pretty saturated. It is a big industry. Can be high ticket. You're just selling businesses, websites, right? Web design has been around forever. It's pretty tough to get clients within this agency The thing about marketing or staffing or some of the other things we're talking about is that people are constantly thinking about these things. They're constantly thinking about, how do I get more clients? Or if they have plenty of clients, they're like, how do I get somebody to help me with these clients, which is staffing. But a website is like buying a car. They think about buying a car every 3 to 4 years. And so if you do outreach to them, to thousands of people, only a few of them are thinking about websites right now. And the competition is also high. And there's also plenty of platforms that make YouTube videos or that are on ads or are on TV that tell them that websites are really easy to make. And so you have those platforms that are like, hey, websites are easy to make and it's really cheap. You pay us $10 a month and you get a Squarespace subscription, right? And so the best way to get clients with this industry is either pure volume, which is sending hundreds of thousands of messages, or finding people who are raising their hands, like I said in the AI section. So you just look for people that are like looking for websites on Facebook groups, or go to Upwork, people that are looking for websites on Upwork, and go from there. You can even post on a Facebook group saying something like, does anyone else have a terrible website? And then people will call themselves out like, yeah, we have a terrible website, or actually don't have a website at all. And then you can reach out to those people, right? Within any individual industry. If it were me, I've never had a good website and I've never gotten into making good websites. I probably wouldn't sell a website alone, but maybe as a complete marketing package, like a website, lead management, ads, funnel build out, all that stuff. We got to think about what is the end result that people are thinking about all the time? What's the conversation they're having in their head? We just want to enter that conversation. If they're constantly thinking about, man, I wish I just had a consistent system that brought people into my restaurant every single day. And we said, hey, we can help you build a website. They're like, that I'm looking for a consistent system to bring me people into my restaurant every single day. Right. And so if I reached out and said, I can bring you a consistent system to have people walk into your restaurant, and that system includes a website, a funnel, ads, all this stuff, people are going to want to buy the full package because they want the end result. Right. It's kind of like with all these things. A lot of like the web design or like the SaaS thing. It's like selling one tool to the entire package. But the B2B agency, it's like, hey, we're selling you the end result, which is the actual leads and the actual sales. Or also the ads agency. You're doing all this work, the entire package, to help them get that actual lead or sale. Cool. VA placement agency, medium difficulty, 10K to 100K a month. It can be saturated, but mostly unsaturated. A big industry and high ticket. Basically, you're just helping businesses hire a VA overseas as a cost-effective alternative to hiring locally. So if you don't know, a VA is just a virtual assistant. It's an employee that you can hire overseas for cheaper than, like, say, US employee or UK employee or an Australian employee. $2 to $5 per hour. The reason is because in other countries, the conversion rate is lower. So the US dollar is worth more. So if you live in India, you can live in the higher class. You can live like a king for, if you have $1,500 a month in India, you're a king, right? If you have $500 a month, you're living really well. Cool. And so we can hire someone who is in India, who's willing to work for $500 an hour because it's worth a lot to them. And rather than hire, Americans are idiots and they want the world. I know because I was one of these employees. I wanted $20 an hour. I didn't want to work. I wanted to leave as soon as the bell rang, right? All that stuff. And, but a VA can work for a lot cheaper and they can do more for you. So a lot of people are looking to those alternatives, right? A VA placement agency can be pretty lucrative. It's just, it's one of the easiest to scale, but can also be the hardest. And there's a few ways of doing it. The reason it can be hard to scale is because it's literally just bodies, right? So if I get 100 employees, then you have to manage those 100 employees, right? So it can be like that. The first way is hiring like a staffing agency or any other staffing agency, which we'll get into in a second, where you get paid a flat fee for helping hire the employee. So you can charge $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 one time to help hire a trained VA and implement it into their business. So, I say, hey, I'll help you hire a VA for $3 an hour. You just pay me $5,000 and I'll help you hire that person for $3 an hour. The second way is charging a monthly retainer for the VA. So you pay the VA $3 an hour. They work 40 hours a week. After 4 weeks, you spent $480. So say $500 a month. You can then sell that VA to someone else for $10 an hour. So they are paying you $1,600 a month. So now you're making over $1,000 profit off of each VA you hire. And people are still willing to do this because hiring a U.S. employee will cost them a minimum of $16 an hour, and hiring a U.S. employee that's actually competent, that knows what they're doing within a specific field or industry, can be even more money, right? So $16 to $20 an hour But I come in and say, hey, you can hire through me for $7 an hour, $8 an hour, $10 an hour, right? And so they're still saving money through me, and they're getting the end result that they want, right? Now, the hard part can be that there is a lot of people selling we do everything VAs. So there's a lot of those agencies. These are people that are just selling bodies. So it's someone that can do whatever you need at any time. And so it's hard to sell that for the same reason that it was hard to sell, the AI agency stuff, because there's no clear end result that they're getting out of it. So, saving time would be, the specific end result for hiring a VA, but that's not really what people are really looking for a lot. I have someone in my program who's doing a specific hire, like we help you hire bookkeepers. So he has 300 bookkeepers under him, making $1,000 profit off of each of them, $300,000 a month. Someone else in my program who's helping hire for real estate agents and business brokers, they have over 100 VAs. We're pushing 100 VAs. That's $100,000 per month. They're charging $1,500 per month per VA. They're paying the VA $500 a month, so they're making that $1,000 profit off of each of them. And so they can be pretty lucrative. But the thing is, what you want to do is you just want to be specific on the result that the VA is going to get you, not just we can help you hire a VA, right? Cool. If it were me, honestly, this is actually something I'm probably going to start. So I would actually do this because I'm actually going to. Maybe, hopefully. Anyways, next up, PR agency. Difficulty medium, 5 to 20K a month. Not very saturated. It can be a little saturated, not very saturated. Big industry, high ticket. Basically, it's just helping businesses get press or get into magazines or articles, podcasts, etc. What I've learned is PR is just pitching people that you can help them become more famous and grow their brand. Now, there's a whole lot of lore behind it, which is like you have to find a publisher that will sell you the deal. You can do cold outreach to podcasts to get invited to the show, etc. I don't know too much about how to fulfill. It can also be as simple as white labeling someone else's services. But I'm not going to get too much into like how to actually fulfill the thing. But it can be pretty lucrative because the offer is pretty easy. All you got to do is if you say something like, hey, do you want to get in Forbes magazine this week? Can I call you maybe in like 10 minutes? Everyone's going to be like, yeah, sure, of course, right? And so everyone thinks that they deserve a spot on Forbes or in a magazine, whatever. They feel like they deserve that. And so everyone says yes to that. I was able to help this client get 80 appointments in 1 month using that exact offer. That's a testimonial of him saying that, The drawback is sometimes the sales cycle can be a little longer, and a lot of it is just you being a salesman for someone else's product. So someone else is selling a feature on Entrepreneur Magazine for $2,000. You're basically going in trying to find someone else that's willing to buy that for $3,000, and you're making that $1,000 difference. But there's something that's getting a little more popular right now, which is working well for some people in my program, which is you reach out to people and you ask them if they're interested in being on a podcast. If they say yes, then you do the podcast on whatever topic or industry that they're in. And then you offer them, after the podcast, a service, right? So you tell them, hey, you basically turn the podcast into a sales call. So you say, hey, I just want to see if I can do these services for you. I can help you do blah, 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 right? I can help you get on my Entrepreneur Magazine. I can get you on a podcast tour, all that jazz, right? Or I can sell you the podcast as a system to help them get more clients. So I know it might be kind of meta, but a little hard to understand, but I'll try to explain it. So if it were me, if I was starting this, I would do the podcast offer. And if I was doing a PR agency, and I would reach out to B2B companies or people that were targeting other businesses. So for example, I would target business insurance. I would get them on a podcast and I would ask them who they like helping. Right? I would be like, okay, so who do you like helping as a business insurance? How do you get leads right now? Is that working for you? What's your craziest policy, right? Just ask those basic questions. I'm also asking questions that will help me pitch my offer later. So if they're saying, we're getting leads, but we're not getting a lot of leads, right? And it's not really working that well for us. And we like really targeting tree service companies. And then at the end of the podcast, I say, that's great. Hey, if you're actually interested, because now we built rapport, I just interviewed them for a podcast. I say, if you're interested, I can actually help you set up a podcast with tree service companies to get you more business insurance leads. The way that works is we'll reach out to the tree service companies for you. We'll get them onto your podcast. You give them a 20-minute interview, and then you try to upsell them a policy, right? Or in a business insurance policy. And that's pretty easy to do because all you got to do is you're on the podcast. They're going to ask you, you're asking the tree service company questions. I know I'm getting really meta into this, but the business insurance guy is going to ask the tree service guy questions. He's going to say, okay, well, what's the biggest tree you've ever done? Or what was the crazy story of doing tree service? And then what was the most dangerous thing that ever happened, right? And that's where the juice comes out, right? And they're like, oh, we almost did this thing. We crashed this guy's entire car because a tree fell on it. Well, whatever, And then he goes into, Thank you for doing the podcast. I want to see if I can tell you a business insurance policy. I saw, you said all these things about how you had all these crazy accidents. I can help you with that, right? So just an idea. All right. Pretty cool. PR agency. All right. Partnership agency. Easy difficulty. Can make 10 to 30K a month. Unsaturated, big industry, high ticket. I do not see a lot of people doing this. Oh, man. Dude, I have never, like girls will say, I'm craving this. I've never had that. Never had cravings. Over this last month, I just had a craving for a honey bun. I just want a honey bun inside my mouth right now. And I've never had that. It's just so weird. What are they putting in my water? Anyways, estrogen. Sorry. Okay. This is helping businesses create partnerships that bring them leads. All right. So I don't hear anyone doing this, but the results can be really insane for the actual clients themselves. So basically, what you're doing is you're pitching to a business that you can help them get more leads without doing paid ads or content, right? What you're going to do for them is help them create strategic partnerships that will bring them consistent leads long-term. So for an example, I've got a member in my group named Christian. He has a brother who's a contractor that does countertops. Christian helps his brother reach out to other contractors in the local area, like roofing contractors, kitchen remodelers, general contractors, and they reached out to them and asked them if they need any help with countertops. Like, hey, I do countertops. I want to see if you guys are partnering up. If you're doing a kitchen anytime soon, or if you're doing the roof for somebody else, and if they need a full remodel, whatever, if you have anyone like that. And so you can reach out to general contractors, roofers, kitchen remodelers, also people that do real estate investing. People that are buying homes and flipping them. I can help you do countertops, or large real estate investment firms where they're buying like this huge building of all these units, and they need countertops for 200 units, stuff like that, right? So reaching out to all those people saying, hey, I can help you do those countertops. Christian's brother was able to create multiple partnerships with other contractors in his area. He went from not knowing where his next lead was going to come from to now being booked out for the entire next year using just this strategy. That is insane, right? That's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars just from that one strategy. And it's very simple, very simple. All you got to do is just text other contractors, email other contractors saying, hey, I just want to see if you're open to a partnership. One of my first B2B clients was a roofing company who wanted to partner up with other solar companies in the area, because when they partnered up with solar companies, the solar company would give the roofing company free roofing leads through the partnership. A lot of times, a solar company will sell their solar roof, right? And if you sell the solar roof, you need to fix the roof first before you put the solar onto it, because if the roof is bad, then you put the solar onto it, it's might fall off, all that other jazz, right? Liability. And so they need that roof fixed quickly. And so we were reaching out to solar companies via SMS and email, just very simple stuff, saying, hey, we can help you finish your roofing jobs really quickly so that you can put your solar roof on. And then they created so many partnerships just from doing that. And the partnerships are worth a lot of money, because you get one person who's selling 3 solar jobs per month. Now you're getting 3 new roofing contracts, and you didn't have to pay anything for it. Isn't that crazy? And you're benefiting them, the solar company, because you're finishing the job really quickly. And a lot of people, they take forever to finish the roofing job. All right. You can't really do this on a monthly retainer. That's the kind of problem with it, because it's like a one-off thing. There's only so many solar companies I can reach out to in the local area, so you can sell it as like a $2,000, $5,000 package. Another example, I had a friend who is a beekeeping company, and he'll take out the bees. If you have bees in your home, whatever, he'll take out the bees and make sure they're safe and, ship them away. Now, a pest control company usually can't do that, because in America, you can't. I think you can't really kill bees right now, or people they don't want to kill bees. But I think it's kind of illegal to kill certain type of bees. And so the pest control company, all they do is kill things, right? And so they can't really kill these bees. And I have a friend who owns a beekeeping company, and he was saying, "Man, I'm getting so many jobs. I'm getting so many leads. And what should I do to get more jobs and leads?" I'm like, "Okay, well, how are you getting jobs and leads right now?" He said, "I have this partnership with this pest control company. Every time someone calls about bees, he just gives it over to me because he can't do it." And so I was like, well, that's great. You've got one partnership that's feeding you $20,000 worth of leads per month. Why don't you create 5 partnerships and reach out to every pest control company in the local area? And so all of them are, giving you leads, and you give them a percentage. You say, hey, if you send me any beekeeping jobs, I'll give you 10% of whatever I sell through them, right? So now you have 5 partnerships. You're making $100,000 just doing beekeeping. And all you had to do it is one time. So if you you reach out to all the beekeeping companies across America and you say, hey, we'll help you get more beekeeping jobs. That's a business idea right there for you, right? You can try that right now. I think it's really easy to test something like that. You can test it in several different industries, just like the idea that I gave you right here. And I probably would test it. And I think if I did it myself, I could easily get a ton of clients. I would probably reach out to web design agencies or graphic design agencies. And I would say, hey, I can get you a ton of more graphic design clients. Like, yeah, how does that work? Then I would help them create partnerships with really big marketing agencies. And I would say, hey, marketing agency, I do graphic design. I would see if you want a partnership or create a partnership where I can do the graphic design for your clients that you have currently, and I'll give you a discount on that, and they create that partnership. Just different things like that. At the time of writing this, I want mint chocolate chip ice cream. This is what I was talking about, dude. I got a craving just like an hour ago when I was writing this, and I was like, man, I want mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's funny. All right, last one, staffing agency. It can be easy, medium, I'd say medium, 10 to 30K. It can be also, I didn't actually change this. I think I just forgot to change it. Unsaturated, big industry, high ticket. It can be a ton of money. I'll kind of get into it. Basically, you're helping businesses find staff, kind of like the virtual assistant thing, but you're helping them hire locally. So let's just say you're helping a auto repair shop hire a mechanic, stuff like that. It can be big or small, like helping Fortune 500 companies hire a web designer or like a full stack developer, stuff like that. Anyways, the way a staffing agency gets paid is a little different than anything else. Basically, you're reaching out to the businesses, helping them hire people, right? They need help hiring. So they're going to hire you to help them hire people, right? Help them hire employees. And so then all you're going to do is you're going to post jobs on an Indeed, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, etc., trying to get people to apply for that job, right? So the auto repair shop needs a mechanic. So we're going to start posting jobs on LinkedIn, on Indeed to help get mechanics in the door. We get a whole bunch of applications. And then what you're going to do is you help them find that quality candidate. They hire that person, and then you get paid 10 to 30% of that person's annual salary. So for example, if you help to hire someone for $50,000 a year and you sign the contract for 10%, then you would make $5,000 for helping hire that one individual. So it's completely different than a lot of the other stuff we talked about because it's addressing a completely different problem. It's not we need more leads, which is kind of what everything else is done. It's we need help fulfilling on the leads that we have. And so when you're selling staffing services, usually the company has more money to spend because, they have the money, they just need the staff to help them, right? So, you're kind of reaching out to better quality people. But it also depends on the job market. In 2020 and 2021, people were doing this and they were making $100,000 a month really fast from doing this because there was such a labor shortage in the United States. Nobody's working because there was all these stimulus checks. There was a whole bunch of free money. There was unemployment that people were getting. And right now, the market has it's shifted a lot. It's still growing. I think this last month, 199,000 new jobs were created, which is pretty average. And so, at least in the U.S. And so, it can flip at any time where, a recession can happen, unemployment goes up, people aren't hiring, all that jazz. But I think long term, it's a really good business model. If it were me, I honestly wish I found this sooner and I got into it sooner because it can be really lucrative. I was seeing people make hundreds of thousands. I had a buddy or a guy that, hopped on a call with me. And he's like, yeah, we've been doing a cold email for 3 months. We made $250,000 over the last 3 months doing hiring. I was like, what the, and they just started. So it can be really lucrative. Like I said before, I think starting a B2B agency, a VA placement agency, a partnership agency, or a staffing agency, that would be your best option. You can make the most money, I think, within those industries. If you want me to help you set up those agencies and get you 120 sales calls per month, you can book a call with my team below. I basically set up the system so that you're getting consistent clients in the door within any of these industries. And if it doesn't work, if you're not getting any clients, then you don't pay me anything. So if you're interested in that, book a call below. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.